I'm struggling with doubts about my controlling fiancé despite our deep history and shared dreams in our relationship. I and my fiancé have shared a profound bond since our teens. Our journey began when I was 15 and he was 18, and by the time I was 20 and he was 23, we decided to move in together. We're setting our wedding date for June 7th next year, a day that holds special significance as I'll be turning 25 and he'll be 28. With us sharing the same birthday, we thought it'd be poetic to also celebrate our union on that day. He has been incredibly successful in his career, boasting a six-figure income, whereas I've chosen the path of a teacher. While we have many harmonious moments, a recurring issue is his controlling nature, which extends from dictating my wardrobe to determining my circle of friends. His vision for our future sees me as a stay-at-home wife, evolving into a stay-at-home mom for the large family, 5 to 7 children, we both dream of. While the idea of a big family excites me, I'd prefer to continue my profession until we start having kids. However, he wishes for me to make this transition now. The admiration and love my family has for him further complicates matters. For me, there's always been a draw towards his dominant and assertive personality. I find solace and comfort in it. Yet, there are instances where I can't help but feel engulfed by his overbearing nature. An intimate detail that adds another layer to my contemplation is that he's the only man I've ever been with. Being aware of his past relationships with other women sometimes seeds insecurities about our bedroom dynamic. Even though he consistently reassures me, saying I'm the perfect lover because our exclusive relationship allowed him to train me to align with his desires, I still wonder if I'm genuinely fulfilling his needs or if he's merely satisfied due to the control he exercises. Though deeply in love, I'm grappling with these emotions and thoughts. I'm trying to discern if this relationship, laden with its intricate dynamics and decisions that often tilt in his favor, is the best route for my happiness and well-being. Or, am I merely treading this path because of our shared history, my family's blessings, and societal expectations? Seeking advice on how to navigate these feelings and uncertainties. Edit, for those asking what our races have to do with it. I personally don't think race has anything to do with how he is, but my sister's friends, his sister, and my co-workers whom I close to does. So I included our race in the original post. Comment. Ensuring you're financially dependent on him is the ultimate step in having full control over you. Him wanting you to throw away your career is a huge red flag. You'll be strapped down with lots of kids and no money of your own. At that point, he can treat you however he wants and you'll be in no position to walk away. He'll hold money over your head to force you into doing whatever he wants. If you complain about anything, he'll say things like, well, I pay all the bills, or it's my money, so I make the rules. He likely won't help with housework or childcare either because, after all, he'll be making all the money. Your whole life would end up revolving around him and the kids with nothing for yourself. It's easy for women to get trapped in this cycle. Our friends and family tell us to stay because they don't know what's really going on in the relationship. From their perspective, things look great. They aren't the ones being told what to do, say, and where by someone who is supposed to be their partner. They aren't there for the arguments or the bad times. They don't feel what you feel, that's why their opinions on this don't matter at all. It's your life. Do you want to live it this way? Don't get married just because you're people like him and you've been together a long time. If it doesn't feel right now, it won't ever feel right. Go out, live life on your terms and meet a man who sees you as an equal, not someone to boss around and control. Just my advice. You know, can't even judge you because I'm in the exact same circumstance, except I'm planning my escape plan now. Hope you get there because one day you'll realize that you don't even recognize yourself because all you are is the idea of who he wants as a partner. You both need to talk. That's the only way for you to decide whether your history is worth it. My biggest concern is that I feel like the power dynamic in your relationship might be a massive hurdle to addressing things before you get married. Controlling your wardrobe and your circle of friends, aside from pointing out really toxic people, is not okay. And you certainly should have a say in when you're starting a family, you're the one carrying the child. But that's also hard to process when you've only had one partner. All that said, being in a controlling relationship is exhausting and usually unfulfilling. And again, I'm concerned that there won't be enough compromise between now and your wedding. It will take a lot of patience from both of you for that to work. You both deserve to be happy. Next story 2. I feel like I might have made a mistake breaking up with my BF. I broke up with my BF of 6 years today because I haven't felt happy with him due to some things he's told me these past 2 months regarding marriage and compromise in terms of him marrying me in the nearer future. He has initially all read me his future ex when I told him I wasn't okay with his suggestion that if I want to get married I either pay for half the ring and he plans a proposal, or he pays for all of it and then just hands it to me. He told me today that we should go to a couples counselor and that he knows he could be a better boyfriend, but he's told me this before and then he is nicer and puts more effort for a little and it stops. I wish he had tried after I told him what he said hurt and not 2 months later when I say that it isn't working anymore. He is also apologizing now and saying we can get engaged and making plans for us to go to lunch and just being so thoughtful. I am not sure if I should agree and go to counseling and try to fix this with him or stick with my decision to break up. I can't stop feeling like maybe he might change this time. He also said that by us breaking up he loses everything, all our pets, our furniture. I told him I would help him and that if he wanted the cats, I'd help to make sure he can see them and or take care of them, but he's talking about moving out of the state and never talking to me again now. How can I help myself feel better about this decision? Maybe I am wrong and just give the counselor a try. Comment. It's been 6 years and he literally told you to your face he knows he could be better. So why the fuck hasn't he? If he knows he's being awful to you, why hasn't he done anything? He doesn't need your permission to stop being a bad boyfriend. I think moving on is the best thing you could do. He's love bombing you to try to get you to stay now that you've actually left. His excuse is a bad one and it's just that, an excuse. If he actually wanted to change he wouldn't be making all of these excuses and pleas now that you've left. If he wanted to change he would have recognized this in himself long before, and actively sought out therapy before you left to fix these issues. He's just telling you what you want to hear. If he meant those things he would have done them 6 years ago. It's sad that you think it might have been a mistake breaking up with him. You're doing exactly what he wants. He convinces you he'll change and then pretends he will for a few months, but it's all a fantasy and he goes back to be a shitty BF. You'll stay with him, unsatisfied and hoping he'll start to change again, but you won't break up with him because the last time you did it was a mistake, so you'll keep desperately clinging on to your lie of a relationship. If you want to give him a second chance like you're questioning yourself on, you need to set some boundaries using the SMART method. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Example. I will reconsider our relationship if you spend the next 3 months in weekly counseling for yourself, followed by 3 months of joint couple counseling. You need to show me that you're serious about dealing with your own issues before we try working on ours as a couple. If he can't commit to something like that, he can't commit to marriage. He must resent you to come up with that proposal. I wouldn't want to waste my time with counseling because he should already be in there sorting his own stuff out. Next story 3. I got married to my BF to save him from deportation. I'm starting to regret it 2 weeks later. I had been dating a boy I met senior year of high school. The beginning of the relationship was a shit show. There was a lot of love bombing on his end, and I ended up obsessed, even going as far as choosing not to attend college so I could follow him out of state. I later discovered, when I was 600 miles away from any friends or family, that he had been cheating with multiple men and women the entire time. Online, in person, thousands upon thousands of naked photos that he got on websites and from people he had been Snapchatting were hidden on his phone. Being young and completely alone, trapped in the area since I was attending a dental assisting program there. I stayed. I understand it was a mistake, one that took a huge toll on me emotionally and physically. My ED was becoming a more prevalent issue after that. We ended up going back to our home state the day after I finished my program, where we both moved in with our families again. I was obviously not mentally stable. I'm probably still not considering my recent life-altering decisions, but I decided to work it out with him. Fast forward a year, around 3 weeks ago, we got accepted for an apartment. The day before our move-in date he gets pulled over and is issued a ticket. No big deal, except he's undocumented and already on probation for a previous shoplifting charge. We go to his immigration attorney and he basically says we need to get married right away to sway the judge to let him stay in the US, as this will probably result in deportation proceedings. I am completely in shock, but agree, and we get married 5 days later, with our families reluctantly attending our last-minute courthouse ceremony. Honestly, I knew the marriage was going to happen eventually. Things were way better between us and slowly he gained most of my trust back. I have access to everything and learned how to be an expert at phone snooping. I just didn't expect it so soon, with no ring and wearing a $40 dress from Amazon, almost all of my family being kept in the dark. But I rolled with it, despite my number one dream in life being to have a gorgeous, well-thought-out ceremony and reception with friends and family there to support us. The issue now is that he is completely disregarding the marriage. We have not had a single day to ourselves, since he started working 7 days a week to be able to afford the lawyer and now rent. Every time I mention getting a ring on my finger, he brushes me off and claims we're too broke to even think of that right now. No problems showing the video games and tattoos he wants though. I asked him to take me to my favorite restaurant to celebrate with the two of us, a little pricier for us, but dinner would have been maybe $50. Nope. Preposterous for me to even suggest such a thing. Again, no problem dropping more than that to take his siblings to the movies or going out with his friends. I've given him head almost every day since the marriage, taking him to completion almost every time. I've received it back once, when I was half asleep and too tired to go all the way. He's usually not home till 7 or 8, 9:30 p.m. on the few days he goes to play soccer. I spend my days alone and my nights walking on eggshells since he has no energy left for me and is often very irritable. Overall, there's been a lot of issues in our 2 short weeks of being husband and wife, a lot of it stemming from him putting our relationship on the back burner despite us making the ultimate vows to each other. It feels as if I served my purpose to him. He's getting his papers and no longer needs to pay any attention to me. I'm wondering if I can get an annulment? Or perhaps a divorce when I can afford it? I don't think he understands what I sacrificed when I married him in that musty courthouse. How my dreams of being a beautiful, loved-on bride were crushed in less than a week. I hate my life now even though it should be the happiest I'll ever be. It's been mistake after mistake on my end, and I am very aware of how incredibly stupid and naive I am. How do I even begin to get out of this? This life that is nothing like I wanted it to be? How excuses are valid for the most part but hold no empathy for me. What can I even say to him to fix this without sounding like a spoiled brat? Comment. So sorry to hear yourself going through this. Don't beat yourself up. You're not stupid and it sounds like you got pushed into this pretty quickly before you had time to really think about. Be kind to yourself during this time. You mentioned you had some family attend the ceremony. Is there anyone that you'd be able to comfortable with staying with for a little bit while you're able to figure things out? It seems like your situation is pretty unhealthy and you deserve to be a lot happier in a marriage. Maybe if you had some space away from your husband and some loved ones around to support you, it would give you the space and energy that you need to look into getting an annulment/divorce, which is definitely the way to go because you deserve a partner that loves you and cares for your needs.